All right, so we now want to, now that we've got our level sequence done, so that way we can hit play, right? We go shoot our target, and then if it was tied to our quest, right, this would complete our quest, and then we could then go through this portal once we add in the code here. So I'm going to stop playing, right? And we're going to come over here, right? Back to our BP level door blueprint that we made last time, right? And then inside here, we're going to grab the trigger zone and we're going to scroll down and look for on component begin overlap. Now, again, we're going to check if the other actor is get or has tag, right? Then we want to make sure that it is player. Right, and then we also want to check, is this a quest door, right? Because otherwise we want to skip a few things, right? So, and bool, right? Because, well, if it's not a quest door, we want the player to be able to walk up to it once it's activated, right? And then we just do a branch. Goes like that. I guess I could, yeah, know what? Let's leave that. We're just going to create another Boolean, actually. That is activated. Activated. There we go. Is activated, right? Plug that guy in there, right? And then by default, I'm going to have it turned off. But I'm going to, at the end here, set that to true. Right, so that way, actually, I'm going to put it beginning. Because there we go. Is activated is true right there at the beginning. That will make it very simple, right? Perfect. Now, here's where we get into, let's see here. Because all we need is open level, right? Open level by name, and then that's perfectly fine, right? Now, we can do this, but currently, right, again, technically, to make it look nice, I would also put a delay here of like 1 second, right? And then I would probably do, let's drag this out a little. Let's say get camera manager, player camera manager, start camera fade, start a camera fade, right? And then we can there, and then we'll go to 1, duration 1 second, and then, well, hold on, finish. It won't matter because we'll be in a new level. And then you could set up on the begin play of a new level, the fade out, right? So this is going to be our false, right? Now the level to load we have to quickly make, so I'm just going to go to, again, file new, or file, make sure you're on the map area, right? File new level, right? And then I'm just going to do a basic, call this dungeon. Once we're done, right? So I'm going to go to my maps folder here, save, and I'll call this dungeon, right? Where did I save it? Back in content, yeah, and I didn't spell dungeon right. Dungeon, yeah, there. And then I'm going to also move this to my maps, and yeah, that's fine because I'm not really moving there. So then we go to our maps folder. I go back. Yeah, I want to just save here, right? Now, what I'm going to do actually is grab our door blueprint. All right, we're going to plug that in front of the player, because I want to be able to go back and test a few things anyway. Right now, this is where I do need to actually open up the blueprint. All right, level to load, I'm going to promote this to a variable. Level name, level to load name, get rid of the spacing, and then make it instance editable, compile. Right, that way I can come over here, level to load. I can then go to my maps, and I could, you know, grab my demo map. Right, and then because this is not a quest door, I'll leave that unchecked. Right, so that means if we hop over here, at least the, you know, is active. Oh wait, has player tag and is active, right? You want that to be true. Now if it's not active, right, there we go. And this part doesn't really matter. There. Now, I'm going to actually leave a little bit of room. Right, so I'm going to compile, I'm going to save, I'm going to hop back over to our demo map, right? Then I'm going to grab this door, because now this door needs to load the dungeon map, right? So if I now put that there and hit play, and then we quickly activate it, then we got that there. Let's see here. I hop over here, run over to the door. It's activated. I can now run through. It fades out, and then we're back here. New one, right? Now, if I currently didn't have, we do have a problem, right? Now, I'm not going to have the problem right now because, well, we currently automatically enable our hook shot and everything right there. But, you know, for it to be actually part of the progress, we will need something to track that. All right. Well, and it won't save during the transfer to other maps. So we're going to use a few things. But before we do that, actually, I'm going to enable them just to show actually if we had two player starts here, right? And then what we have here is the ability, they have a name tag, right? Then we could be like, you know, this could be, you know, dungeon door, right? And I could put this here, right? Now, by general, Unreal technically starts at random first. So we're going to first tackle the, you know, if the player were to come back, right? And I wanted them to pick a specific one. In fact, I'm going to temporarily turn this is quest dungeon door off, right? That way I can, well, you can see I already started here, right? And then if I hop through here, right, it does the fade. And then I come back through here though, right? I'm actually not at the place I want, right? Well, reason why is we can actually, inside our door blueprint, right, there is a part here for options, right? Now, those options are instructions to pick a place to spawn, right? I'm going to promote this to a variable, right? This is going to be basically player start location name, right? And then if that is blank, then it's fine. It won't do anything, right? Now, what I want to do is now, again, also make sure that door is instance editable so we can see it, right? With that instance editable, right, what I want to do is now go over here, grab my door, make sure I copy this, right? This one I don't need to worry about destination, but if I were to open up the dungeon door and then I put this one here, right, I can then put this here, right? Now, again, this won't work right off the bat because we also want to do a little bit of work inside a game mode now. I've already copied over my game mode and swapped it out, right? So you went into this blueprint here, made a copy of Sandbox, and then inside the game mode, if I were to open up my current copy, right? I haven't done anything other than change, obviously, the player to our hero, and then I also made a copy of the controller so I could disable the other things, right? Well, inside our game mode, right, we want to, first off, look for an event called handle player, or look for like starting player, right? You want starting, there it is, handle starting player, right? Well, we want to restart, look for a function called restart player at start location, right? Now the starting spot, what we want to do is drag off of our new player, right? And say find player start, right? And that's the incoming name from the options, right? Now, the problem here we have to also fix is that by default, if we were to say get options, or options, or let's just type in options, sorry, options, get options, down at the bottom, there we go, option strings. This actually has a question mark at the beginning of its string, which means therefore it's always going to be kind of null, right? Now I'm also going to, again, basically I want to have, right, so to fix this, right, we have to get the length, string length, right? So we're getting the string length, right? We then want to minus one, subtract, and then we'll do -1, right? So it minuses 1 for the value. But then we also want to, off of this, drag out and say get substring, right? And then we want to start from index 1, not 0, right? And then we're going to obviously -1 from the length. There we go, right? So that way we're only getting the characters that we want. Now, I'm going to do an is empty, right? If we leave the description on the thing, you know, the options from the portal, like open level door, right? If it is empty, right, then we want to pick a start location, right? Now, you can then do off of here, do a select string, right? There we go. Now, obviously, I can then duplicate. This is from the output from B, right? So, if is empty, right, run A. If not, do B, right? Now, you can make a default starting location by actually manually putting in start default, right? So then I could be like, well, this player start over here, right, can have a description or player tag start default, right? And then I save this map. I go to my other map. This also fixes the random spawn on if you have multiple player starts, because now, right, regardless, I'm only going to go to the start default every time I hit play, right? There we go, right? So that at least gives us a good transition from both of these, right? So if I now go in here, right, I'm at player start, Then I go through here. Door. Dungeon. Oh, wait. Right. Save. No. What? No. It's not that one. I need to grab this. Right. I called it Dungeon Door. Right. So you got to make sure that, again, they're very string literal names, right? So this shows that I got to come back here, right? I can't just say player start location dungeon, right? I have to be like Dungeon Door, right? Done. John. And, in fact, yeah, I'm going to have to fix it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I broke my other door. Cause yeah, I need to fix this. Right. There we go. Perfect. Going to then hit play, right? And then we're going to go check it out. Run through that door, and then we run through this door. Right, we're right by the door, right? Perfect. Now. All right. Now, let's see here. So, now I was mentioning how if I didn't have these currently set up, right, and then we went through all those quests, right, and unlocked these things, right, because again, these wouldn't get called unless we actually, programmed it to actually do so, right? Now, I'm going to set up a system to allow us to basically transfer. Has the player done this stuff yet? So I'm going to leave these, calls here, but I'm going to add another pin to our thing, right? We're also going to use the game instance to pass information, right? So what we want to do is open up, well, we're already actually in the hero, right? So inside our hero, right? So we can close the game mode because we're done there, right? Now, once I create this system, though, you guys can use it if you have a save game, right? You could save the player progress, which is what we're going to use because we're going to create something using gameplay tags, right? So gameplay tags is a good way of getting rid of all a bunch of booleans, right? Because you can use it for different things. In our case, I'm going to do progress tags or player progress. Player progress tags, right? Then this is going to be of type gameplay tag, but we want container, right? Because this is going to be a container of tags that we want to be able to check. Now, we're going to compile because we want to actually go create a bunch of the tags themselves first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly, right? So first off, right, we want to open here, go to the tag manager, right? This is where we then can hit that plus. Now we want to make sure we set the source to the game default game tags.init, right? Eventually you can make your own, but for right now, getting used to with it, right? We want to get used to just using the default gameplay tag init for right now. Then eventually for your own game, you could create your own init as needed, right? So right now we have, I'm going to do, first off, we're going to show you how to create a tab or a tag, right? So if I were to, let's see here. I want to start off by typing out like the heading tag, right? So I would do something over here like ability, right? ability, right? And then I would do a dot, right? Now for a subtag, I'm going to do and we're going to do unlocked, right? Unlocked, right? And then I'm going to do grapple, right? Just like that. And then I'm going to hit add new tag, right? So we've got grapple there. Now, under the unlock, I can right click and add a subtag, right? And it'll automatically give me the prerequisites put in up to the top here. So then I could do magic, right? Magic, right? Right, so that way we can then set those tags saying that we've unlocked them, right? Now, I'm also going to add a couple other tags, right? So now that we've got that, right, we want a way to technically, control how we've done on quests, or, if we've collected specific items, right? So I could do, in fact, we could technically do quest dot item, right? Dot, and then we'll just say collected, collected, right? And then I'm just going to start with the first one, right? Which will be our rope, right? And then if I hit the plus, right? So under quest item collected, and we have the collected rope, right? Under collected, though, I am going to add another subtag called magic orb for our magic focus, right? Magic orb, right? And I will add that tag. Now, under quests, though, I am also going to I'm going to add a different subtag, right? So this will be quests progress, right? So we want to check if something is completed, right? So we do complete completed, right? Completed, right? And then we are going to check name your names of your quest, right? So I have the grapple tower, right? And then we can then add a new under quest completed, right? You could technically also do like assigned and then add them that way as well, right? Or you could technically, whichever way you want to make the subtags, right? That makes sense to you. Now I've got under completed, I'd want to check if we completed the rope quest. Rope. Rope. And then grapple tower, and then we also want to check, right? So under here as well, right? Unlock dungeon, dungeon, right? There we go. All right. So now that we've got those tags, we can close this up, right? So right off the bat, we've got some gameplay tags now. We need a way to set and access these, right? So what I'm going to do is actually create ourselves another interface. Now this interface is what we're going to put on our hero. And I'm going to right click, go to blueprint. In blueprint interface, call this BPI underscore player info, right? Because we can also add a few other extra handy dandy functions as well, right? So start us off, right? For the player info, in fact, I'm going to do like get player ref, right? This is going to take in the type of BP underscore hero. Oops. BP underscore hero. There we go. Right. And then this could be hero or player reference, right? So that way we can pass that through there, right? Then I'm going to add a plus to a new function. This could be get quest system, quest system, right? And then this is going to want to again, we want a output for this one. Oh wait, sorry. If this, I got to go back to this one. Can I move? No, shoot. All right. At least then I could just copy the name, right? I meant output, not input. Reason why is because we want to make sure we're outputting the information, right? Then I would do the same for our quest here, right? We want to do the BPC. So C, because then we can then grab our quest system, right? And this will be the quest quest comp, right? Quest comp, right? There we go. There we are. So that way we can get the component, right? Now we need three other ones, right? So we want to add one to get our progress, right? Now let's see here. So get player progress, right? Progress, right? So get player progress. This is going to also have a output. This one is going to be of gameplay tags, game play and tag we want the container, right? This will be player progress tags, right? There we go. Player progress tags. So we want to we'll eventually create that as well, right? And then we want another one. This can be check progress tags, which is going to have a input. So we want a input of game tag containers, right? This will be tags to check, right? Now we're going to this will be check. So this is going to be check all, or check progress tags. There we go. But we're also going to want a Boolean. But before we do that though, I'm just going to add another add tag one, just because, you know, I can do this quickly with a container, right? That we're going to then say tag to add, right? And then I'm going to say add tags to progress, right? Now, if I come back here, I want to, on the check, right, we want to output a Boolean, right? Or this can just be called return value. Return value, right? So there we go. Now the add tags, we're not going to have an output. That's just going to be like that. All right, perfect. So now we need to go back to our hero. We need to go to the class settings and implement our BPI, and then you want to make sure you grab the player info that we made, right? Now I'm going to go back here really quickly. I'm going to, for the tag ones, I'm going to put these as tags. That way I can then, you know, check progress, and then it has its own settings. The other ones I'm going to leave out as like a default, right? Just so that way when I go back to our hero, right, because he also has a few other interfaces already there, right? So if I were to open this up, right, we can see I've got the tags there, right? And then I've got the get player progress, right? So this is where I can then be like, well, or wait, which one did I put under tags? Check, oh, get player reference, whoops. Get player reference should not be under that. I'll put that to default. It is get quest system, get player progress should be under tags. There we go. Right. So if I compile that, it'll fix that over here. Right. So we've got shoot. Player reference. Can I like just delete that? No. All right. Well, fine. I'm going to put the quest system also under default. Why not? There. That's fine. All right. So while we're here, right? So get player tag container, right? It literally just gets us the tags, right? You just drag and drop it like that. All right. So get player quest system. Well, we just grab our quest system, plug that in there, right? Then we can also do get player reference. Well, that's just get self, get a reference to self, and we pass that in there as well, right? Just like that. Perfect. All right. Now that we've got those two, we want to check has tag, right? So there we go. Now this one, let's see here. So what we want to do is drag off of here and says has all tags, because you want it to be exact matching for these tags, right? This is like basically a compare all, right? And then we grab our player progress tags, shove that in there, right? There we go. Now, you could also technically add one for removing tags eventually if you wanted to. In our case, we don't need to, right? I'm going to go back to our event graph now. I'm going to come down here, right beside our aim. In fact, actually, I'm going to grab all this stuff and drag it all the way up here, right? Reason why, because we got a few things that we're going to do on the begin play as well, right? So from here, right, we want to right. So this is where we want to add tags, right? Oh, of course, it puts it down there. And drag this go all the way back up here, right? So what we want to do is drag in our container. Now, because we're using a container, right, we want to use, there's different functionalities to this, right? We can append is what we're looking for, append gameplay tag. Now, there is also add gameplay tag, but if you use the append, you can technically add containers, right? Otherwise, if you're using the add game tag, right, it would be a different input, right? So if you see this is a container that comes out of here, right? So that means I can plug that in. But if I try to plug this in down here, there's a conversion problem, right? It's just because ultimately I would have to convert that into tags and then do it that way, right? In our case, we're just trying to append what we need to add to it. Now, the same is said for, you've got remove, right? Remove, gameplay tag, tags, right? So then you can then remove tags as well, right? From the actor, right? There's plenty of different ones, right? Remove gameplay tags. There we go, right? And then tag, and then so forth. In our case, we're just going to look at the append, right? That's perfectly good for our case scenario. All right. now that we did all that nice setup, right, we can now comment out these guys, or I'll comment this one, right? Player progress, right? Add to player progress. There we are. This can be try to enable grappling hook. Hook. No, we'll just copy. And then we'll do a try enable magic. There we go. Again, trying to be a little better on our documentation here. Perfect. All right. Now, the reason why we set all that up now, inside our quest, we're going to obviously go back to our puzzle here to check, and also add in, if this is a quest door, right? We want to add in an extra check here, but we also wanted to use this door as a way to say, hey, can we, save our player's reference, right? Since we are loading the level here, right? Now, what we want to do is, now that we've got that initially set up, we want to go back to our blueprint folder, right? We want to create a blueprint class, and then this blueprint class is the game instance, right? So game instance, right? So then we're going to do GI for game instance. We'll call this hero, just to be the same, right? Yeah. There we go. GI hero, right? Now inside this hero, right? Game instance, right? I need to create a variable that we're going to store, right? This would be of container, right? So the gameplay tag container, and well, this gameplay tag is going to be your hero's progress tags. Tag, right? Perfect. That's all we need in here, right? Or if you were, you'd make a save game file that would have that, and then you would use the save and load system. I'm just using the game instance because that only runs until you close the game, right? I can close this one as well, right? Now, the reason why we did that is because we want to, in fact, actually, we're going to do that here. We're going to create a custom function. See here. So we got add progress, right? What we want to do is we are going to, in fact, I'm going to declick those guys. I'm going to add another few pins, right? So this one here, up first, right, under the hero, right? What I want to do is get game instance, right? And then I want to cast this to our GI hero, right? Grab it. Reroute node, make it look a little more pretty. And I'll make it bigger so that way it concludes this, right? Now, off of here, right, we want to just say get hero tags, and we just want to use the set. Now, this is just going to literally set, override the gameplay tags, right? So this is, at the beginning, right? This is, technically this would be, instead of, getting the instance, you would use like, load data here, right? For loading the gameplay tags. Now, obviously next we want to do that, right? But we then also want to check progress tags, right? Now, if, player has unlocked grapple, right? In fact, we can add another couple pins here, right? So we're going to check, hey, does the player have grapple? If so, right, we can then do that, right? Perfect. Then we're going to literally just copy this. Control C, Control V, right? Because we're going to also check, hey, does player have magic? And I'm going to unlock the grapple, right? There we go. Plug that guy in there, right? Just like that. Move that up a little. There. All right. So this way, we now have that, right? Now, so we don't have to go all over the place, right? We've now need to go back to our quests. Now, let's see here. Now, so that brings us to right over here, right? Now, I'm going to also, let's see here, open up our quest component, right? Because I can also quickly create, because we also want a quick way to say, hey, we've have we completed something, right? So we're going to go here to quest system, and I'm going to create another function. This is going to be try to complete current quest. Current quest. There we go. All right. Now, all we're going to really do is, what we need to do is drag in. We want 2 inputs for this one. Right, so this is going to be quest name, right? And then quest new. We're going to also do a new objective. Objective. Right, and this is going to be of type text. There we go. All right, because then we could literally just go and pull in check assign quest. I'm going to make this peer, which will update automatically for me, because again, we're not changing anything, we're just checking, right? And then this gives us a little bit of buffer room, right? Then for return, I am going to make a return value, right? This is a type Boolean. Return value. Oops, cap lock on. Value. There we go. But if it's true, right, then we can just say has completed quest, right? And then because we're in a function, we can also do update current objective, right? And then because we're in a function, we can, this input here is also local, right? I can be like get new objective, right? And you can see that it plugs it in for us, right? There we go. Perfect. So that makes it nice and easy, right? So now we can tidy up a few things elsewhere. I'm going to leave that there, right? But let's see here. Now, inside our door, well, what we want to do now, let's see here. Now, if this is a quest door, right? So we're going to do another branch that we're going to check. So if true, right? So this one's more so, hey, is this a quest door? If so, it is quest door. So if not, we still want to do that. But if false, right, we want to get the player pawn. We want to get quest system. We want to get our off of the quest system. We want to complete or try to complete current quest, right? Now, this is again, if it is tied to the quest. So in fact, is quest should have a, quest tag. Oops, except for 1-2 quest tag, right? And then we're going to promote this to a variable, right? Then quest name, and then I'll put this under the quest section, right? We'll also want to make sure it's instance editable, right? There we go. Right. And then for the new description of your quest as well, you also want to promote that to a variable again, and then we'll just say it is instance editable and under quest tag. There we go. I gotta somehow move it. There we go. Right. So if it is right, we want to give ourselves a new objective, right? So go back and talk to Bob, right? And then obviously, if this succeeds, right? Right, then actually we don't even need the return value there. Either way, we're going to there, right? No. Yeah. If we succeeded, we want to do that, right? Yeah. No. If we completed, right? Otherwise, we don't want them to have them go through the door, right? Yeah. So if if current quest is completed, right? Or try to complete current quest. Yeah, that's what we'll do. All right. Now, we also need to, while we're here, right, before we do any of this, actually, while we're doing our camera fade, this would be the perfect time, right? Right inside here. Now, because we want to get the game instance, right? Get game instance, right? We want to, again, cast to our GI hero. Because regardless of when this is, we want to grab our pawn. Just like this, and literally say get progress, right? Get player player progress tags, because we only need those. And dragging off the blue pin here, you want to say set hero progress tags. You just want to pass that through to the game instance, right? So that way it will then, regardless of where the player is, all the tags will continue to be until you at least quit the game, right? And so regardless, it'll pass that on, right? So this kind of now is our feedback loop, right? So on event begin play, we set them from here, right? So anytime that you spawn a new character, right? So entering a new level, right? We get that, right? And then we set them here whenever we leave it, before we leave a level, right? Perfect. Now that we've done that, we just need to, I'm just going to fix up our NPC, because ultimately, the NPC, oh wait, so did that, no, what am I doing? This should be, I did that wrong. This should be in the puzzle right here, right? Let's see here. Now, this is where, again, is quest. No, I'll leave it to the door. Perfect, right? I already did it over there. I would truthfully do it when we enable the thing, but having it over here at the door is perfectly fine as well. All right. Here's quest door. Yeah, try to complete. No. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to do it here. That's okay. I just delete that. Leave the quest door. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to put it over here, right? Then we're going to, is quest. Or is part of quest. Right, and we're just going to there, and then I am going to default to there. Silly capital. There we go. Right, part of quest. There we are. Right, so that way this at least checks that off, right? That way when, this only happens over there, right? So then I promote this to a variable, quest name, make that a Boolean, visible. And I don't need to worry about putting it in the other one if I don't need to. There we go. Perfect. So that fixes that. Right. Then back in the door, right? This up here, if it is a quest, right? I want to say get pawn again, right? Get pawn or get player pawn, and we want to check progress, and then we want to make sure that the quest is complete for unlocked dungeon, right? Technically, you could also check all those, but I'm only checking, right? If we've completed that. There we go. If false, you could play like a sound, right? Saying, hey, go complete the quest, right? There we go. All right. And then last but least, I need to go to the NPC, because the NPC is the last thing, right? There we go. So, oh no, that's not true. Technically, we can also fix up the items. So what I can do here, right, is I'm going to break the video here, and then we'll come back and fix up the quest items and the other items. All right. Now that we're back with this, we are going to finish up this part here, right? So off of here, right, we need to change up how this kind of all works together, right? Because ultimately, we want to make sure that, hey, when the player spawns back, right, the NPC doesn't reset, as well as the items here don't respawn, right? So we're going to open up our quest items as well. Oh, and I also need to make sure that, hey, since this is a quest door, I need to, actually now I don't need to do that there, but because I do have the quests in the NPC, right, I need to go to my quest log, grab the quest name, right, right, I need to grab this, I need to grab this one, right here, right, since I need to check, hey, this is a quest item, this is the quest name, and then we need to go back to puzzle door section, and I need to make this instance editable, right? And then we'll just say go back to Bob, see if he needs anything else before you go to the dungeon. Right, there we go. Perfect. That's set up there. There. So now I have a way of completing our quest. So then we go back to our second here. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to, now that we've got all this, let's see here. I can now go to our NPC and we can fix up here. Right now, I can also now drag off of here and say get player info reference, right? Get player reference message. That way I can get that, delete this, we can plug this here, right? Eliminate some casting. And I'm just going to plug that in here as well, right? So that way I get the quest reference. But that's besides the point. So off there, in fact, I'm just going to delete that point node. Pull that guy back. We want that, and then I'm just going to grab our quest component, quest system reference, plug that in here, right? Because we can then throw that top. I'm going to get rid of the delay here because we don't need the delay. Right. Back in our quest system. Right, I had that there as a failsafe. But if we go back to our quest system really quickly, quest system, right? We want to stop any new quests if we are animating, right? So what I'm going to do is quickly add there is quest completion is quest is quest completion and am playing, right? Ultimately, right, we want to obviously turn that on. Set it here. Let's see if I can get that as lowercase. There we go. And then we can plug this in here, right? We want to make sure that's true if we are playing. There, right? And then after it's all finished back here, right, we can then, you know, set to false, right? So that way it's there. But we don't want to accept a new quest if no, not set there, branch there. Oops, didn't mean to grab two of them. There we go. Right, so if it is false, then we can obviously do it, right? There. That will solve that there. And then we come back over here to the NPC, right? Since we were getting rid of that there. Now, see here, off of the player reference though, we now want to check the player's progress, right? So let's see here. Check player. Check. Check progress. Tags message. Oh, I see. Right, that's not what that is. Right. So what I did is I created a function. Well, actually, yeah, here, actually, check progress tag message, right? I'm going to do that, but then I'm going to right click this, collapse it to a function, right? So we're going to check progress. Check progress tags. Yeah, there. Player. Now, in this progress, the reason why we're doing this is because this is also going to be a prelude to setting our quest, right? Now, I've tried many different ways. Now I can actually just do player ref as the start, and then I could be like get player or get player ref. I want that one, right? Because it's a function thing, right? In fact, no one. We'll just say hero reference. Yeah, that's even better. Hero ref. There we go. That way we can be like, hey, you know, have we completed the grapple rope? Or no, wait, I think I have to start from the back. So we're going to check, hey, have you completed the dungeon first, right? If nothing, right, then we're going to go check off of here, right? And then we want to also click here and add a return value. Return value, right? Return. And then off of, right, so if true, it's fine. Now, the reason why I'm leaving that blank is because basically, if we have no available quests, right, that's basically the same idea, right? So we're going to be getting rid of the other part, right? So then I'm just going to duplicate this. And we're going to check, hey, have you completed the grappling tower? Right. Yeah. And if not, then we then can check, hey, have you not completed the rope? Right. And then I give another branch. Right. And I'm going to duplicate this. Now, I am going to now manually set my index based off of this, right? This way we don't have to increment it on the complete. Because again, ultimately, right, then we don't need to really check, hey, is this the last index, but, type idea, right? So again, be here. Right. There we go. And I also want to make sure I check it this time though, right? And then I can come down here. I'm going to false, right? And then if true, we want to set this to 1, right? Because I don't want it to increment it if we run this, right, and it runs this part again and goes to true, right? We want it to stay at 1 until the player completes the quests, right? So then if we hop back here, right, I can then now go back to my event graph, right? And we can also drag off of here and say, is quest completion playing anim, right? Or basically we're checking if it's not bool, right? Then I'm going to drag this back. So we're going to do an and bool, right? And then we're going to hold B, right? Shove that guy there. And then I'm going to be print, string, and then this is where, no dialogue system yet, right? Or something, no quest, quest, or we'll just say no dialogue. Dialogue system, or you can play a sound, whatever you want to do, right? It's just noting that, hey, because ultimately, right, that should be, the dialogue would depend on the quest status, right? So forth. There we go. Right. Now, that brings me obviously in here, right? Now I just delete these guys. Plug it like that, right? Because we're no longer incrementing it, right? Otherwise we'd be double incrementing it, which we don't want to do, right? And there we go. And if we then go back here, what we do need to do though, and I'm going to turn this off. There we are. Right. We still need to do that, but off the player reference, we also need to set or add tag, right? So add gameplay keg message, right? Now I'm going to double click here to add a pin because ultimately, right, this one here, right, may as well set both, hey, has the ability or has grapple, right? And then we also want to has completed quest, there, rope, right? And then duplicate this, right? I'm going to turn off the rope, has completed. We're adding that one, and we're adding magic. for the next one, right? Because that's what happens when we enable this area, right? We can add both of those because we're appending the date there, right? Then I'm going to duplicate this down here and then do another add tag, right? Progress, this one is the completed there, because again, you want to make sure that you've set it to complete first, right? Or you come here, check this, right? We set the tag, right? And then obviously that would run, the complete thing, right? Again, it's up to you guys if you add in this delay so that it auto does everything. But that is at least getting our character now all set up, right? Perfect. Now, we just need to come along here, right? And then afterwards, we're perfectly good here. We can now go to our item. Now, the item, we just have a little bit of modification. So, so let's see here. Just need to open up my example. There we go. Quest item. Let's see here. Right. Play. Right. What I did here was I added a sequence, so I moved this up above. Right, because we want it to do that regardless. There we go. Now, obviously, I want a small delay here, because ultimately what we're doing, right, is we're getting, we want to first check if the player has a tag, right? And then on interact, we don't need to do this anymore. In fact, let us, do we need the hero reference? If we do, worst case scenario, the main idea here is I could, I no longer need to turn that into a quest system because we can get rid of those, right? New quest objective, right? Because off of, let's say here, get player ref message, right? Get the player ref message, right? I can then, promote this to a variable. No. Try to complete current quest. Perfect. We can obviously plug those guys back in. Oh, no. Let's not even do that. I'm going to get rid of that. There. And there. That's fine. Yeah, because we can just do that from there. All right. Now, obviously, we want to say, check, to completed, and then you update the thing, right? We don't need to set the completion because that's done at the NPC, but we do need to just drag off of this guy, right? And I'm going to say set tag, or no, add tag, right? Just again. So off of true, right? We want to add tag, right? So this is where we then go to the quest items, and we've collected, right? Now this will be promoted to a variable tag to add, right? Because ultimately that'll depend on the item, right? That we're adding. Real, and then we just destroy the actor. That. Now, this will come back up here though, right? Because we're going to use that tag. So again, up here I can be like get player pawn, right? We can check progress tags, right? Because we want to check obviously versus, have they collected that item? If so, right, we can branch and then we can destroy the item, right? Because if the player's already collected, right, they shouldn't be able to see it. So if true, destroy vector, right? So that way, if you complete it, it is there, right? So now at least got that all fixed up. I should be able to hit play. I can't do anything yet. Hero. Yeah. So if I hit R, wait. Okay. Why am I able to do that? All right, I hit stop, I hit play. I shouldn't have any tags here. Yeah, that's empty. Just like that. Yeah. It should be false. If yeah, check progress tag. Magic grapple. Because it shouldn't call. Why is it returning true? contains. Oh, wait. I see. Right. I got it backwards. All right. This should be other container tag container. Right. Right. There we go. There we go. Right. Perfect. All right. So now I go walk up to Bob. Right. We get the quest completed. Right. Make this there. Right. There. Now that should also mean I need to here, and then I can do quest item collected rope. Then if I come back here, item collected orb. Why is my construction? Oh, I see what I did. Promote variable. Object or item mesh. Didn't mean to delete that. That was bad on my side. If I select this guy for the cone, of course it's all over the place. Let's just reset that and pull it up there, because it's obviously a different cone. That's fine. And then I select this object. I do the sphere. Alright, doesn't really matter. Oh, that's way too big. Sphere. Just do sphere. That's better. And then obviously again, quest item orb. There we go. Wait, why is there? Oh, I see. Doesn't really matter. I'm only adding one. There we go. All right, so now if I hit play, there we go. Now that I actually have my items back, there, no dialogue. Hey, go grab that rope. There we go. Completed. Talk to him again. Our reach. There we go. Use the hook shot. Yeah. Why is it not? Yeah, that's the exact same function. Alright. Yeah, no dialogue line, yeah. Yeah, so that one worked. And then Tower of Reach, yeah, so I bring that up here. And it's not finding anything. Oh. Does the cube not, or the, oh. Does the sphere not have collision? Is that why? Oh, okay. Gizmo, sphere handle, no. Sure. Yeah, why not? We'll use the tiniest cube. No, actually. Just type in sphere. Let's just grab. There. Default sphere. That should hopefully work this time, right? So it wasn't the code, it was just the object I chose didn't have collision, right? And, oh, shoot. This should be... is Questor, yeah. Set that one. There, perfect. Is Questor. All right, there we are. Run through this really quickly. And there, Tower Reach, and we got that. He gives you instructions. There. Line of lights. Door opens. And there. Go see Bob. Yeah, we've completed that. And then Bob doesn't have us anything. But the main point is now that I come in here, right, we should be able to... all right. Just gonna go to the door. I'm not gonna hold the finish. But I'm not gonna play through it again, but basically the fade out should work now with our door.